Shavi Bennett, Molly Collins, Sierra Earhart, Adelaide Grusing, Mercedes Madison, Lucila Mergel, Aubrey Wilbur, Chelsea Zinke, and the cheer coach is Brenda Hagan. Introducing the Custer cheerleaders, Madison Merkel, Sarah Cochran, Ashlyn Zoss, and Skylar Height. Cheerleaders are coached by Andrea Sturko and Bryn Steed. And now introducing the starting defense for the visiting Belle Fourche Bronx. At defensive tackle, a senior, number 71, Emmett Lip. A junior linebacker, number 54, Charlie Haupt. A senior defensive end, number 52, Trig Olson. A junior linebacker, number 40, Cody Bowden. A senior safety, number 32, Slater Humbrock. A junior linebacker, number 24, Jory Olson. A senior linebacker, number 22, Riley Dighton. A senior cornerback, number 11, Pearson. A senior defensive end, number 10, Merrick Mankey. A senior defensive end, number 80, Rafe Parmeter. And a senior cornerback, number 2, Garrett Houston. Bronx are coached by Sean Sweet, assisted by Tanner Clarkson, Kyle Grassley, Austin Hagan, Matthew Schrader, Justin Sweet. And now, the starting lineup for your Custer Wildcats. Introducing the offense. On the offensive line, a 6'7" junior, number 62, Paul Warnke. At tight end, a 5'11" freshman, number 82, Carter Kern. On the offensive line, a 5'9" senior, number 76, Zayden LaPlaca. On the offensive line, a 6'1" senior, number 67, Logan Olson. On the offensive line, a 5'11" junior, number 55, Dalton Marshall. On the offensive line, a 6'2" junior, number 53, Lincoln Golder. At running back, a 5'8" senior, number 41, Blaze Ark. At wide receiver, a 6' junior, number 25, David Lewis. At quarterback, a 5'10" sophomore, number 15, Vic Jancourt. At wide receiver, a 6'2" senior, number 4, Brady Virtue. And at running back, a 5'9" senior, number 2, Daniel Imermino. Wildcats are coached by Russ Evans, assisted by David Williams, Ty Daly, Terry Seachin, Clayton Sander, Joseph Williams, Sam First, and Dallas Shields.
Hi, my name is Ava Jari, and thank you for watching Wildcat TV. Hi, I'm Ava Hone, right side hitter. Thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
Get your sprayer ready for winter with Grossenberg Implement's Service Department Winterization Special going on now. Through October 31st, bring in your John Deere self-propelled sprayer and get discounted labor and parts rates, only $650. And that includes genuine John Deere winterization fluid for protection down to minus 40 degrees. But hurry, this offer must be completed and by October 31st, 2025.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers is a trusted real estate advisor in the Black Hills. She brings precision, dedication, and clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build a brighter future for our kids. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Melissa is here to guide you every step of the way. Stop in or call Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers today.
All popcorn in the concessions tonight is free. They have lots of other stuff that isn't free.
Oh no, it was the super. Yes, it was him. Somebody was. It was.
The literacy council shared with us his vision.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture.
All I know is I asked him one question and he talked for about 15 minutes on that topic, around that topic, and I never did get an answer.
You hear that one?
Nope. He's a politician.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Custer High School Media live coverage of Wildcat football. I'm Tate Vincent, and I'll be bringing you tonight's broadcast with tonight's producer, Alexa Winkler, up in the booth above me. We're excited to bring you this broadcast from beautiful Custer, South Dakota, and the Custer football field as the Wildcats take on the Belle-Fourche Bronx. As both teams are entering this game with a 1-5 record, so one team will be taking home their second W of the season at the end of this matchup here. This is the second game of the Wildcats' three-game home stretch here, with last week being a loss to Hot Springs with the final score of 51-13. So Wildcats looking to bounce back and get back into the win column as they won the game prior to that at Lead Deadwood by 19-18. So just looking at some of the stats from last game quickly for the Wildcats, Danny Imermino rushed 17 times for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 6 tackles. Brady Virtue had 3 receptions on 3 targets for 42 yards and led the team with 8 tackles. And David Lewis had 5 tackles on the night, while Riley Trout, Blaze Arp, Lincoln Golder, and Logan Olson each had 4. So we're looking here at the kickoff coming first from the Bronx for this one to get us started, and we have 3 Wildcats back deep: Imermino, Virtue, and Trout, the common 3 of the season. And we have Joseph McLennan to kick. This one's scooped up the middle, going to be taken by Trout, the 30. He breaks a tackle, gets spun around, but still on his feet, but finally brought down by the kicker, McLennan there. So on the turn, the Wildcats are going to take over at the 37-yard line, their own 37. So the Wildcats will take over here. They'll get the ball to start the game. And if it's anything like last week, the Wildcats had a great first possession to get on the scoreboard, but then defense had a hard time coming up with a couple of stops there for the Wildcats. First one, we have motion, handoff to Imermino. Imermino still on his feet as he passes the 50, sees a lot of field. Now it's a foot race. 20, 10, 5, touchdown for Imermino to start off. So that's one play for Imermino to take it all the way to the house.
With a 63-yard
A 63-yard touchdown rush there for the Wildcats. The Wildcats will bring on Pasica to kick the extra point. As John Core is back there to hold, I believe. He was making sure his linemen knew where they should be lined up at. So we've got Wildcats on the board extremely early in this one. Pasica's kick is good. So the Wildcats will take the early lead 7-0 after just one touch for Imermino to go 63 yards on that one. Great block in there from the Wildcats. Good patience for Imermino on that. Oftentimes in some of the past games early on, I feel like those jitters get you going. You get all amped up and you just take off running. He had good patience back behind the line of scrimmage there and found the gap and was able to get to the outside. And like I've mentioned in some of the previous broadcasts, Imermino is one of those guys that last year was ranked extremely high in the 100-meter dash. Unfortunately, was unable to compete in the 100-meter dash at full strength at the state track meet. But he's one of those guys that you do not want to be in a foot race with. So excellent start there for the Wildcats. And Imermino, who just had that touchdown, is going to be the kicker on this one. I'm going to work on some names here for the returners. For the Bronx, it looks like Gavin Pearson, the 5'11 senior, is back deep along with number 88, Wallace Eddie. Short kick. Ball still on the ground, taken by number 80. Okay, that's Rafe Parmiter. He's still on his feet.
Parmiter on the return.
So Parmiter on the return will get out. There's a flag on the play at the 40-yard line. Brady Virtue is in on the tackle. He is down at the 33-yard line, so the Bronx are going to take over at the 33. We'll see what the penalty flag is here in just a moment from the officials. Ball marked at the 33. No signal yet. Looks like they're going to back it up. A holding called on the Bronx, so this will back them up. Instead of starting at the 32, it looks like they are going to be backed up to the 22. So their own 23-yard line will start this possession for the Bronx. Revin Audis is back at quarterback. A handoff early here. Looks like to number 22, Riley Dighton.
Tackled by Arp.
That was Riley Dighton there on the carry for 2 or 3 yards and was tackled by Arp of the Wildcats.
2nd and 7, Bronx.
Audis is just a freshman back there in the backfield for the Bronx. A motion coming here. Handoff again goes to Dighton. Dighton tries to get to the outside, but looks like he was wrapped up by Kern. So this will bring up a 3rd down for the Bronx and about 3 to go. So Wildcat defense, that front line there with LaPlaca, Olson, Kern, and Golder. The Wildcats have some pink on tonight for that Breast Cancer Awareness Month here. So great to see that and the support there. As the Bronx go with 3 wide, 1 back in the backfield in Dighton. Motion coming from Merrick Mank. Handoff to Dighton. He goes to the outside right in front of their bench. It does look like he's going to pick up enough to get the 1st down. Then the signal comes. It is enough for a 1st down for the Bronx. So Wildcat defense there gave up about 3 or 4 yards per play on this one, and it's just enough for the Bronx to get a first down. So reset the downs. Hopefully the defense front line here for the Wildcats can get a little bit of penetration into the backfield. Going to the air is the Bronx. They got a man open deep. That's number 11, Gavin Pearson. He shakes off a defender. 2 defenders, finally brought down inside the 10-yard line by David Lewis.
David Lewis makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
So the Bronx, on play number 4 of this possession, are going to be having a first and goal. A nice pass there from Mank to Pearson.
If you're just getting here, popcorn in the concession.
If you're listening from somewhere, feel free to let us know in the comment section. We love to hear where you're listening from. And I apologize if I mispronounce any names on here. I'm doing my best. If there is somebody at the game and I'm mispronouncing one and you want me to work on pronouncing that, I'd gladly take any help I can get up here. And there is a flag on this play down on the field. See what the signal is. Encroachment on the defense, it looks like. So that's going to move half the distance to the goal. They're going to be on the 4-yard line. So the Bronx have first and goal from the 4. Bronx have 1 wide left, 3 to the right. Backfield has Dighton. Shift to the left side coming from Pearson. Pearson back, handoff to Pearson. Golder swallows him up and brings him down the backfield for a tackle for loss there. Imermino in to help on it, but Golder was the one that wrapped him up and brought him down and held him in that spot, and Imermino came in to finish him off. So, second down and goal from the 9 for the Bronx. Three wide right, man in motion is Mank. He comes into the end, handoff to Dighton, fumble, ball's on the ground, and still on the ground. It looks like maybe Golder or La Placa. No, excuse me. That is Logan Olson who came up with the football on that play.
First and 10, Custer.
So Custer, after the long pass from the Bronx, ends up getting a defensive stop in the red zone. Great to see for Wildcat fans. An unfortunate fumble there for the Bronx. So Wildcats take over on their own 12-yard line. Pass coming here from John Core, throwing in Virtue's direction. That pass is deflected by number 11, Gavin Pearson. Just was able to get his left hand on that one. And had it gone over the top, it looked like Brady was going to have potentially a little room to run there. But there was a little double coverage, so good defensive stop there on the aggressive play call from the Wildcats. The Bronx have Ian Voiles up on the front line along with Mason Neal and Jory Olson on the end. Handoff to Imermino. So Imermino's second touch. He is tackled by number 40, Kobe Bowden. There is a flag on the play.
No gain. Pending the call.
No gain. The official's looking over at the Bronx, trying to see what the Bronx will signal, if they'll accept it or not. Officials talking about it. Face mask. So penalty on the Bronx.
It'll be second down, Wildcats.
So it'll be second down and 6 to go. So Wildcats second down and 6 to go. They've got Arp in the backfield with Joncor motion with Imermino. Handoff to Imermino up the middle. Imermino falls forward. Looks like a gain of just 2 on the play for Imermino, so that'll bring up third down.
Third and 3 for the Wildcats.
Third down and 3 for the Wildcats. So big play here, chance to convert and extend this possession. Still deep in their own territory. Looks like number 33, Spencer Bush Graisley, is also up on that front line for the Bronx. A handoff coming from the Wildcats. I think they're just shy on that play. That was number 34, Will Kimball, the 6-foot freshman for the Wildcats, that got the touch on that carry. Does look like it's going to bring up 4th down and 1 for the Wildcats. We'll see what the Wildcats choose to do here. Are they going to punt or will they go for it? It does appear as though they've got Imermino back to take this one to punt. Jogging back is number 80, Rafe Parmenter. The ball bounced out of bounds at the 51. Nope, the 49. Doing my math wrong up here.
49-yard line after Imermino's punt. 1st and 10 by Foosh.
Oh, I gotta catch my breath. I gotta get my numbers straight up here. I forget after it crosses the 50-yard line, you gotta start counting back down. We've been working on that. All right, so the 49 is where the Bronx will take over. So first play of this possession, man in motion. Snap down, look into the air again, quick pass, good pressure, but able to step out of it just before he gets to the line, going deep. That pass was intended for Parmenter. Nice coverage by Virtue there, right as Parmenter put his hand up to touch that one. Virtue was hitting him. That was a good scramble by Otis out of the backfield to avoid the pressure coming, but great to see for the Wildcat fans that pressure from the front 4 in Kern, Golder, LaPlaca, and Olsen. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 10. 2 wide left, 1 right. Snap, handoff coming up the middle. He's met by Golder. That was a big hit by Golder there, so that'll bring up right at the 50-yard line here. 3rd and 10. Good outside pressure from the Wildcats, and then Golder was able to get right into the gap there and stop the run coming from Dighton. Man in motion. That's Mank. Looking to pass. Spin move from Golder. Golder's chasing. Ball's throwing. And it's bobbled around but caught by number 11, Gavin Pearson, on that play. It went just over the outstretched hands of Virtue. Was bobbled around, but Pearson was able to hold on to that one. So it'll bring up 1st down and 10 with the Broncos now into the red zone inside the 20 there on their own, or on the Wildcat 18. So Bronx 2nd time down here into the red zone after a long pass on both possessions. Looking, quick pass to Pearson. He is tackled by Imermino. Great open field tackle from Imermino at the 21. So a loss of 3 on the play. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 13 for the Bronx. Great tackle there by Imermino to get past the blocker and to meet Pearson in the backfield. Man in motion, 3 wide left. Another pass coming. Man, right up the middle. Relic Bailey just misses. Pressure still coming from the Wildcats. Looks like Logan Olson is going to be there to get the sack. And Riley Trout was also in on that one for the Wildcats. So the sack there will back the Bronx up. It'll be 3rd down and about 20 yards for the Bronx. The Bronx are a team that has looked to go to the air quite a few times here. 3 left again. Motion in the backfield. Takes the snap. Short, quick dump off to Dighton. And he is tackled by Emermino again. So it'll bring up...
Relic Bailey on the tackle.
Excuse me, Relic Bailey was in on that tackle as well. So we have 4th down and 14 to go for the Bronx. Looks like they're leaving the offense out there. Must not have a field goal kicker. Not much of a wind at their back anyway if they were to kick. Motion from Dighton. Looking left. Ball's up in the air. And this one is caught by Gavin Pearson, just over the top of Brady Virtue. So that'll be Belfouche touchdown, a 22-yard touchdown pass. The reception there by Gavin Pearson. So Belfouche will line up to go for the 2-point conversion. The Wildcats kicked the field goal, so a chance to take the lead if they convert on this play. Handoff to Dighton. Met in the middle. Looked like he was short. Both officials are signaling no good on that. So just shy of the end zone. He reached for it but did not get the ball across before he was down. So the Wildcats come up with a big stop on the 2-point conversion. But Belfouche is now on the board with the score of 7-6. I'm going to step aside for a 30-second break.
Hi, I'm David Romino. Thank you for watching Wildcat Football. Hi, I'm Brady Virtue. Thanks for watching Wildcat Football.
All right, welcome back to action. I'm Tate and Vincent, helping with tonight's broadcast of this Wildcat football game. The Bronx just drove down 51 yards on that possession and punched it into the end zone on the 22-yard reception from Gavin Pearson. So Blaze Arp was in on the return, and the Wildcats will take over at the 40.
We will draw at halftime. We have a new policy for the 50-50. We're only going to draw 1 ticket, and we're not going to draw again until the 4th quarter if nobody's claimed it. 2 times we've had people show up with the original ticket after we've redrawn. So 1 ticket will draw at halftime.
So the Wildcats will be taking over here with John Core under center. 3 backs in the backfield. A quick handoff up the middle to Lewis. Lewis spins, and he's taken down, but not until he gained about 7 on the play. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 1. Nice little mix-up there from the Wildcats, and David Lewis gets his first touch of this ball game. And nice little spin move that he had in the middle and kept his feet turning over on it, and he's able to pick up 7 on the play. So a quick start here on the third Wildcat possession of the game. Virtue wide left, handoff to Immermino. Immermino finds a hole,
busts through the line.
but then is stopped by number 30, Tegan Carball.
Tegan Carball was the first Bronc there, but that is a Wildcat first down.
But it was enough for a Wildcat first down on that possession and on this possession and the run from Immermino. Wildcats continuing in this formation. Snap, handoff to Immermino. Immermino going towards the Bronx bench. He's on his feet. Gain of 4 on the play. So it looks like it's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats. So some good holes there created by the offensive line so far on this possession for the Wildcats, as the Wildcats have crossed midfield here and into Bronx territory, with under 2 remaining in our first quarter. John Core bobbled it just a smidge. Blaze Arp finds himself right at that
Blaze Arp with a nice carry.
Line to gain. It does look like he's past the first down marker, so that'll be enough for a Wildcat first down. 2 officials over there talking. There's a flag on the play. See what they call here. Not looking promising for the Wildcats. Looks like potentially a holding on the play.
Oh, I didn't see the flag on the field.
Illegal motion, maybe? I think potentially legal motion on the play. Not entirely sure. If I hear, I'll let you know. But that'll bring up 2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats. So that gain is erased. But Wildcats go to a quick handoff again, but just going to be swallowed up right at the line.
Stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Looked like that was Arp again on another touch. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 11 for the Wildcats. Bronx looking over to their coach to figure out what they're going to do on this play, if they'll send pressure or not. Wildcats line up with 2 wide, 2 in the backfield. John Core looking left. He has Virtue. Virtue catches that. Looks like he's going to be just short. Going to bring up a 4th down and 2 for the Wildcats. They're inside the 40. Looks like the offense is staying out there. 4th down and 2 to go. They're going to head to the sidelines. So I believe there was a timeout on the field. I thought maybe they're just going to let it run out. Looks like they're supposed to let the clock run out. So that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. They're going to flip sides. So our first quarter score will be 7-6 with the Wildcats leading. So the Wildcats will have 4th down, and it should... So how'd it go from 2 to 4 on the marking signs over there? Okay. There they go. They're just on the wrong side of the 40 over there. Just like I tried to go to the 51-yard line earlier. But it looks like we got it straightened out over there. And we're ready to go. Wildcats 4th down and 2 to go. QB sneak, lots of push from the back. It looks like the mark on the far side is going to be enough for a first down, though. I'm waiting to see what the officials signal. First down for the Wildcats. So great play call coming out of that one for the Wildcats to start the second quarter with the first down and continue this drive with play numbers setting. We do have a thank you to Golden West here at the game tonight as they provided some popcorn at the concession stand, which, you know, you got to have some of that popcorn at under the Friday night lights. The officials blew the whistle dead. Looked like the ball maybe did pop out. The coaches over there for the Bronx were awfully excited, but the officials had blown it dead before the ball had popped out, so the Wildcats will lose about half a yard on that, so second down and just about 11 to go, but Wildcats maintained possession. Looks like the Bronx coach over there, Sean Sweet, talking to the officials, trying to argue that that ball came out before the play was blown dead, but officials standing on it. Wildcats are flipping sides with their receivers. John Core doing a good job of leading this squad under center here tonight. Flag on the play, though. False start, it looks like, on the Wildcats. So false start will back up the Wildcats. So it'll be second down and 15 to go.
Second and 15 for the Wildcats.
Here early in the second. Looks like number 32, Slater Humbrock, is back at safety there for the Bronx. Ball was fumbled on the handoff coming from Veek to Arp, and the Bronx jump on top of that one, so the Bronx will take over at their own 44. So Browns will take over. Ball on their own about 44 here. They've been going to the air frequently, coming what would be to this close side now, to the left if you're standing behind the quarterback, but closest to us on the screen. At home, coming to the air again. They take another shot in Pearson's direction. And Lewis is there, but not until after the pass was complete to Pearson on the first one. So the Bronx will be into Wildcat territory now at the Wildcat 35. So first down on the first play there from the Bronx. The Bronx have liked coming this way on these passes. And they got one wide left, two right for the quarterback, Revan Audis. A handoff up the middle.
Dighton on the carry. Brought down by Blaze Arp. It's going to be second and short.
Dighton on the carry. So that'll bring up second down and 2 to go. So Dighton picked up 8 on the play. Same setup here on this play from the Bronx. Another handoff to Dighton. He will pick up enough, almost finds the hole, but Brady Virtue is going to bring him down. There is a flag on the play back at the line to gain. Looked like Relic Bailey was maybe down on the ground, involved in that play for the Wildcats. Potentially a holding on the Bronx. I'm not entirely sure yet. Haven't seen the signal. We'll let you know when we find out. So holding on the offense, unnecessary roughness on the Bronx on that play. So this is going to back them up 15 yards.
Still second down.
So second down, and instead of 2 to go, there will be 17. 14 to go.
Performance by the marching band at halftime, so stick around for that. We'll also be
just hearing the announcement that at halftime we will have the marching band be doing a field performance, the Wildcat Marching Band. So stick around and stay tuned in for that play. A flag down early on this. Quarterback looks to run. He just tosses this one. It's going to be intercepted by the Wildcats, but we're going to have to see what happens on the play. Riley Trout intercepted it at the 15-yard line. So a nice interception, but we're going to have to wait and see what the call is with the flag. Illegal formation. Penalty is going to be declined, so that's going to be an interception.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
For the Wildcats. So Wildcats will take over on their own 16-yard line. I believe that was Trout who intercepted it. A sideline warning coming on the Bronx. I appreciate how loud our official is down there on the court so he can hear it over here in the stands. However, I would appreciate as well if both ways, you know, maybe the fans would get a little more excited, a little bit louder here, so we weren't able to hear it. There's been a couple big plays and it gets loud then. With the weather being a little cooler, it looks like the fans are wrapped up in some blankets. The student section's on both ways. A handoff coming. Quick one to Imermino. Imermino's still standing. Ball knocked out, but after he was down. And Imermino will pick up 3 on the play. So 2nd down and 7 to go.
2nd and 8.
So 2nd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Still plenty of time here in the first half with the Wildcats leading by 1. Been a lot going on in the first and second quarter here. A couple of turnovers that have happened. And a couple of real nice plays. Handoff to Imermino. He's drugged down
Imermino on the carry
by number 40, Kobe Bowden, the 6'1" junior linebacker for the Bronx. So the Wildcats will lose 2, and it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats. So 3rd and long for the Wildcats, backed up deep into their own territory. They've been here a couple times. Just unable to open anything up there for Imermino on the first 2 touches. We've got Imermino in the backfield. We've got 1 receiver wide left, 1 wide right. Arp in motion. Handoff to Imermino, coming to the close side. He finds a hole, shuffles out, but he's going to be drugged down just shy of the 25, but looks like he's about a yard or 2 short on the play.
4th and 4.
Excuse me, he was a little bit further than I thought he had gotten. My point of view up here was not great, as it was right in front of those Wildcat players on the bench. So to bring up 4th down and 3, Imermino will step back to punt, so it'll be a 3 and out for the Wildcats. Imermino's punt is off. Nice punt. See if the Wildcats get a good bounce. A little bit of a bounce. It'll be picked up at the 38.
There is a flag on the play. 2 flags.
2 flags on the play. So we'll have to wait to see what the call is here before we can confirm where this ball is going to be. Official jogging over to give the call. 2 penalties. Illegal shift on the offense. Holding on the defense. Offsetting penalties, so we'll replay 4th down. So they'll replay 4th down on this one. That was a nice punt from Emermino. He's had a couple that have gotten a little high in the air on the year and stayed pretty close. So let's see if he can give us another one here tonight. Emermino decides to run, and he's got ground to run, enough to pick up the 1st down. Flag comes. I'm thinking it's going to be something maybe on the bench. The official is staring straight at the Bellefouche coach. So enough for the 1st down. We'll see what the official calls here. So we'll have to see what happens. Been a lot of yellow on the field so far tonight. I'm not keeping track of penalties, but maybe I should have. So holding on the offense, so 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
10 yards from the
so the
spot
Wildcats
of the
will be backed up.
They will replay 4th down again.
So Wildcats will play their 3rd, 4th down. That was a heads-up play by Emermino, but unfortunately it's called back. He gets the punt off. Good little bounce, but it's just shy of the 50-yard line. So we'll see where the official marks it. No flags this time.
Bellefouche will take over.
Bellefouche will take over at the Wildcats
From the
45.
of the Wildcats.
So the Bronx will finally take over after replaying 4th down 3 times. Plenty of penalties. Officials are staying very busy. You'd think there'd be a few less penalties by this point of the year, but, you know, there's still some of those mistakes, and officials are starting to tighten things up as we're getting closer to the postseason. Here, man in motion for the Bronx. That's number 10, Mank. Handoff to Dighton. Dighton is brought down by 41 Arp, and number 4, Brady Virtue, another flag on this play. I think we have a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, yep. So that'll move the Bronx, give the Bronx a 1st down. Ball will be on the 23-yard line. So the Bronx almost into the red zone again. Dighton in motion. Handoff to Dighton. Dighton is drugged down by
Dighton on the carry. Tackled by Warnke.
Warnke. He carried that one for a gain of 8, so it's 2nd down and 2. Ball on the 15-yard line for the Bronx. No penalty on that play. So see if we can get 2 plays in a row without one. A lot of these other games haven't had to have quite as many penalties, but hopefully these teams can clean it up here to end this half and carry over into the next half. Quick pass to the outside. Met by Trout. I do believe they picked up enough on the play. That was number 10, Mankey. So that'll be a Bronx 1st down. Not quite 1st and goal. It looks like they're going to have 1st down and 10. They've got to get to about the half-yard line to be able to have a fresh set of downs. So Wildcat defense here, pinned deep. Can they come up with the goal line with a stop here in the red zone? Another stop. There was a fumble earlier. Handoff coming this way. It looked like Virtue was there on the tackle. And Trout helped finish him off. There is a player down on the play. Dighton is down on the play. So we hope the best for Dighton here as the medical team, the trainer for Bellefouche, hustles out there to help him out. I'm going to take a quick injury timeout and we'll be right back to the action. Dighton was helped off the field there, helped up and then was able to get off the field himself, so we hope to see him back out here shortly. It looks like he's maybe a calf or an ankle just with the way he's moving over there. So we'll have second down and goal. Oh no, excuse me, second down and about 6 to go for the Bronx. Looks like Humbrocht in at the back now. 3 wide right, going to the air. They take a shot left towards Lewis. Lewis is going to intercept it in the back of the end zone. Both officials look at each other and they signal, so David Lewis will come up with the interception.
Intercepts the ball in the end zone.
So he intercepted the ball in the end zone there, so the Wildcats are going to take over. Great play there by David Lewis. So the second interception of the night for the Wildcats. The Wildcats have also forced a fumble.
Until the concessions close tonight. Courtesy of Golden West Communications.
So the Wildcats will take over. John Core under center. Handoff to Emermino. Nope. Veek faked it. Now he decides to tuck it and run. He'll pick up 5, and he's tackled out of bounds over there. So it'll be first down and 5 to go. Second down and 4, excuse me. Good scramble play there. John Core faked me out. I thought the ball was coming to They want 4 minutes on the clock. So the officials are all over that one because he did go out of bounds, so the clock should have stopped. So they've got the clock at 4 minutes. The score is 7-6. Wildcats still here with exactly 4 to go before half. Wildcats have 3 in the backfield. Handoff to Emermino. He's met in the backfield by number 52, Trig Olson. Olson got through that line and tackled Emermino for a loss, so it'll bring up third down and 7. So the Wildcats have another third down and long to go. LaPlaca there at center with Olson and Warnke. A quick handoff, faked. Veek runs, chooses to run, he spins, but he does, it looks like, gets the first down. So he does get a first down on that play, so the Wildcats will have their first down. So John Core with a couple of nice fakes, and he starts to roll out, and he's chose to tuck and run on both of them. Looks like some good leadership coming here out of Parmenter for the Bronx. He was talking to his teammate Grant Hagan, the freshman defensive end, just trying to keep him to probably telling him to contain. Got to keep John Core inside. Imermino falls forward for a gain of 1 on the play. So second down and 9 as the clock continues to tick. Wildcats, 2nd and 9. Some of the defensive backs for the Bronx are Garrett Hudson and Riley Dighton and Tegan Carbajal. John Core going to the air. Pressure. He's brought down by number 45. That is Grant Hagan with the sack. There will be a timeout coming from the Bronx. Their first timeout. So the Bronx take the timeout with 2:07 remaining, and it'll be 3rd down and 16 for the Wildcats. As John Core was sacked there again by Grant Hagan, the 5'10" freshman defensive end of the Bronx. So outside of the first possession of the game for the Wildcats, they have not had too many long possessions. They did have one other possession where they got into Bronx territory, but have not had very much movement here as we have 3rd down and long. On this possession, we did pick up 1 first down. And then as for the Bronx, they've had a couple of drives that have moved, but they've had 1 fumble, 2 interceptions thrown, and then they did have that 51-yard drive that was capped off with the touchdown reception from Gavin Pearson. So, Wildcats here on 3rd and long. John Core drops back. Penalties on the play. A couple of flags went down. John Core's still on his feet, but doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Don't forget, we will be drawing 50-50 at halftime.
So the official's talking to the Bronx coach. They want to see what, if he wants to accept it or decline the penalty. Shot block on the Wildcats. Penalties declined. So it'll bring up 4th down and long for the Wildcats with just under 2 minutes remaining. I think the officials are checking if he wants a timeout. Back deep on the return is going to be number 80, Rafe Parmenter. Again, if you're listening from somewhere, we love if you leave a comment so we can give you a shout out here tonight. We love to hear where you're listening from on our broadcast. Punt from Imermino. Fair catch called at the 42.
Bronx will take over at the 48-yard line.
So the Bronx will take over after a Wildcat possession that ended in a punt with 1:51 remaining before halftime. A reminder, there will be a halftime performance by the Custer High School Band. They'll have their field performance here for us. Bronx going to the air, a quick out route to Pearson, but Pearson does not get out of bounds. He's brought down by Trout and Arp on the far side. There is a 1st down on the play. Clock will stop for the chains to move. And then it should start running again. The Broncs are already lined up and ready to go, though. So their quick offense will be on display here. Fumbled, but down. A quick out, and Pearson will step out. So 2 quick out routes. Short gain on this one, a gain of about 3. So 2nd down and 7 for the Broncs. Looks like the center there for the Broncs is Ian Voiles, number 74. One of the ends is number 55, Mason Neal. Man in motion, 2 wide right, 2 wide left. Drop back, rolling out from the quarterback here. Pressure from the Wildcats. This play goes to the sideline. Pass falls incomplete. It was intended for Mankey. Merrick Mankey there. Right on the sideline. I don't know if he would have been inbounds if he would have caught it, but that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Broncs. So Broncs will look to the sideline to receive their call. You have Emmett Lip and Drew Coyle also at that front line for the Broncs. Front line here on these last couple of plays has given enough time to that young quarterback, Raven Audis, the freshman. He drops back again to pass. Looking to take a shot. Chased by Kern. Kern doesn't quite get to him. Ball is knocked down. Incomplete. It was broken up by Jackson Trant of the Wildcats. So it'll bring up 4th down and 7 for the Broncs. The Broncs will send up Joseph McLennan to punt. So that was Trant that knocked that down. Had he come up with that interception, it would have been the 3rd interception on the night for the Wildcat defense. So the Wildcat defense has gotten some stops. We'll see what the Broncs decide here. Snap, bobbled just a little bit. Punt is off. Virtue is deep on the return. He decides to take it out. He is wrapped up at the 12, a gain of nothing on the play, but Virtue was able to hold on to the football. Nothing goofy happened there or anything for the Wildcats, so the Wildcats will take over with 58 seconds remaining. So Wildcats backed up deep into their own territory on this play. We'll see. There's 2 timeouts remaining for the Broncs. John Cora under center. A handoff up the middle to
Nice gain on 1st down.
Arp.
By Blaze Arp.
Nice gain of about 6 on the play.
That'll be a timeout.
Timeout coming here from the Wildcats. So the first timeout by the Wildcats with 48 seconds remaining.
Your last chance to get 50-50 tickets. Cheerleaders are set.
So the Wildcats take their first time out. There's 2nd down and 4 to go with 48 seconds remaining and a long field to go. A lot can happen, though, as the first play of the game went for 63 yards on the Imermino touchdown run. So we'll see what the Wildcats have planned here. Looks like Golder getting his hand wrapped up. Maybe got that caught in somebody's face mask or something. But going to stay out there on the field for the Wildcats. So the ball on the 19. The last couple Wildcat possessions have resulted in punts. So the second play of this possession for the Wildcats, they've got Virtue wide. Imermino lined up just off the end. On the left side, they have Lewis off the right side. Arp in the backfield. Motion for Imermino. Handoff Imermino to the outside. Sheds one. A block. He finds a hole. He's out to the outside. Danny's at the 40. And he steps out of bounds right at the 40. So a nice carry by Imermino. He wasn't quite able to tightrope the sideline. I do think one of the Bronx there was going to have an angle, but Imermino just steps out, so the clock will stop. Nice gain on the play for Danny Imermino. So the Wildcats picked up 2 nice blocks there. I believe one of them was Lewis, who was blocking out front for Imermino, and Imermino was able to shake off the first tackler there, kind of right at the line or maybe even behind the line, and was able to get to the outside, and then it becomes a foot race, but Danny just stepped out of bounds. So now Wildcats going to the air. John Core just over the top of David Lewis, just out of reach. Nice spot from John Core, just a smidge far for his receiver. So great play to see. Only Lewis would have been able to catch that one on that play, and it would have been before the safety got to him. So beautiful pass there from John Core, even though it was an incompletion. I like to see the placement out of a young quarterback like that. The sophomore. This one's to Lewis. Lewis picks up 9 on the play. The Wildcats will take another timeout. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Wildcats. So the Wildcats are moving the ball. They're just short of midfield, and they'll take a timeout. So I'm going to step aside for about 30 seconds, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kira Nelson, middle hitter. Thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing...
All right, welcome back to action here. We've got 26 seconds remaining before halftime with the Wildcats driving the football. 3rd down and 1 to go. Wildcats going to the air. Again, over the middle. Big hit. That was a big hit there from number 32, Slater Humbrat. Nice hit. Virtue just unable to hold on to that one. So 4th down and 1 with 20 seconds remaining for the Wildcats. Final timeout by the Wildcats. The Wildcats are going to talk this one over. So we'll see here what they're going to decide to run coming out of this one. I believe they'll go for it. Ball's right at the 50. If they do go for it, it may give the Bronx a chance to take a shot, but I don't know what the stats are on the punt returner of the Bronx. If they have a really good punt returner, I probably would not punt in this position, but there's a reason I'm not making the choices down there, and I'm not sure where the Wildcats will go on this one. The Wildcats do choose to line up with John Core under center. They are out of timeouts with 20 seconds remaining. Handoff to Arp. Arp does not get enough for a 1st down, so we're going to have a change of possession, turnover on downs. So the Bronx will take over at the Wildcats 49. So Wildcats turn that one over after 6 plays. The Bronx lined up 2 wide left, 2 wide right. Wildcats back deep. Nobody over the middle right now. There are still 2 timeouts for the Bronx. This pass is dropped. Intended for Pearson, but incomplete. 10 seconds remaining, so 2nd down and 10 for the Bronx. Looked like they were trying to get Pearson to the outside there, just on a quick out route, maybe to get out of bounds. Just give themselves a little closer look at maybe taking a shot to the end zone. There have already been 2 interceptions by the defense of the Wildcats. So the second play of this possession for the Bronx, man in motion, 3 wide left, drop back, pressure, a little screen, room to run, picks up a couple of blocks, tackled by Trout, out of bounds. So Brighton was on, Dighton was there on the reception. The clock is stopped. A timeout from Belfouche with 1 second remaining. So we'll have one more play here for the Bronx. I guess I shouldn't say one more play. We'll see if there's, as long as there's no penalty, there will be one more play on this possession. The ball's on the 31-yard line of the Wildcats. And I believe, if I'm just having to guess up here, the Bronx will probably take to the air, as they have most of this half, been throwing the football, and even with the 2 interceptions, continue to throw it, and have been having some success with some short yard pickups on those outs, but we'll probably see a shot to the end zone here. So Bronx break the huddle. Wildcat defense already ready to go. David Lewis here on the close side for the Wildcats. Looks like Caden Howard, Gavin Pearson, and Merrick Mank wide left. The official wanted the clock reset. The clock here doesn't always count exactly. Sometimes it goes down by 2 seconds, so it could have only been 1 that was displaying, but when the official thought it was stopped, it should have said 2, so they do a good job of getting that back on there. Drop back, shot taken towards Virtue, short of the intended receiver, Howard. So good stop there for the Wildcats. So that'll be the halftime score, 7-6.
And the marching band will be performing.
I'm going to step aside, and I'll bring you back shortly before halftime's over to recap a little bit of the first half of this one here. We're going to have a performance from the Custer High School Pep Band under the direction of Catherine Halliday. Excellent to see this field performance, so I hope you stick around for that. Find a little popcorn at home potentially, as the fans here are receiving free popcorn courtesy of Golden West, so that is greatly appreciated. And again, if you are listening from somewhere, just leave a comment on our YouTube page. We love your comments on there, and we would also appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe, as that helps us out. We thank you, and I'll be back.
Recorded in 1957 by Richard Berry and arranged by Paul Lavender.
Oh, who the Twins going to hire for their new manager?
On your feet, Wildcat fans, for the CHS school song. Our director.
The same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Carson Drug in Custer is an independent, family-owned business that exists to improve the quality of life for their customers and to make their community great. At Carson Drug, they work hard to ensure their pharmacists and staff not only assist customers with their needs, but build good relationships that will last for the long haul. If you want a first-class pharmacy experience from a South Dakota independent pharmacy, you've come to the right place. Carson Drug, a community pharmacy designed for you.
Hi, my name is Ava Jari, and thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
Hi, I'm Ava Hone, right side hitter. Thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
I'm Senior Lincoln Robb. Thanks for watching Wildcat TV.
You're ready for your next adventure in life, but you seem to be stuck on trying to figure out what to do. Start your next adventure to the Black Hills with Adventure Rentals. See the hills like never before with on and off-road rentals. Nearly 4,000 miles of trails to explore and 2 convenient locations to rent from in Hill City and Custer. Providing the best way to see the hills and making Custer great again, it's Adventure Rentals.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
How do we solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems? Our doctors and specialists collaborate, sharing their vast knowledge and Mayo Clinic's unique expertise. It's this working together that helps solve our patients' hard-to-solve medical problems. Monument Health, proud member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Dylan Kessler today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Get your sprayer ready for winter with Grossenberg Implement's Service Department Winterization Special going on now. Through October 31st, bring in your John Deere self-propelled sprayer and get discounted labor and parts rates, only $650. And that includes genuine John Deere winterization fluid for protection down to minus 40 degrees. But hurry, this offer must be completed and by October 31st, 2025 to qualify. Stop by Grossenberg Implement and see your service or parts manager today for complete details.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers is a trusted real estate advisor in the Black Hills. She brings precision, dedication, and clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build a brighter future for our kids. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Melissa is here to guide you every step of the way. Stop in or call Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers today.
Out here, you'll learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Hi, I'm Kira Nelson, middle hitter. Thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
Thank you for supporting the Custer cheerleaders.
All right, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Tayton Vincent to bring you this broadcast tonight. We've got a minute and a half left here of the halftime. Just want to go over some of the stats for, I guess, the possessions. I don't necessarily have stats up here. Just a lot that's going on. If I do hopefully find a stat person, I would assume it won't be until next year, though, but working on bringing you what I can. So just to recap the first half for those of you that are maybe just tuning in or saw that it was a close game, we appreciate you tuning in and listening. Drop a comment in the comment section and let us know where you are listening from. We greatly appreciate it. So just to recap it, the Wildcats got the first possession of the game. After the kickoff, they handed it off one time to Danny Immermino, and Immermino bounced it outside and took it all the way to the end zone for a 63-yard touchdown run. And then the Bronx drove all the way down into the red zone, and there was a fumble that Logan Olson recovered for the Wildcats. The Wildcats then, on the ensuing possession, had a 3-and-out and punted. The Bronx got the ball back. They drove 51 yards on 6 plays and had a 22-yard touchdown reception by Gavin Pearson. They went for 2, but were stopped by the Wildcats. And that was to take the score to 7-6. Wildcats up by 1, which is still where we're at. So then from there on out, the Wildcats had an 8-play drive that resulted in a fumble. The Bronx then went 3 plays, had a big pass, but then there was an interception by Riley Trout. So back-to-back turnovers there for the two teams. Then the Wildcats had a 3-and-out punt. The Bronx threw a second interception. This was David Lewis that intercepted that pass. Then the Wildcats had a 6-play possession that resulted in another punt. The Bronx punted on the next one. The Wildcats turned it over on downs just shortly before half. And the Bronx ran a couple of plays, had one reception that went for about 20 yards, and then they took a shot at the end zone that fell incomplete to end the half. So that brings us to where we're at now to start this second half. The Wildcats will be kicking the ball to the Bronx, I believe. So we've got the score at 7-6. The Wildcats leading the way here. Both teams are 1-5 on the season, so whoever wins this one will secure their second win on the year. With 2 minutes remaining and counting down on this clock, I'm going to step aside and we'll be right back to bring you the second half action here from Custer, South Dakota. All right, welcome back here to Custer for our second half action. I'm Tate and Vincent to bring you this broadcast, along with Alexa Winkler up in the booth to be switching back and forth for us on some of the advertisements and things like that. To start the second half, it's going to be Pasica to kick off for the Wildcats. So Imermino typically out there to kick.
Oh, he's just on the sideline.
Imermino's just on the sideline, so not kicking off here. So Pasica's kick is deep, taken at the 15-yard line by the Bronx. The Bronx get out to the outside. Nice open field tackle from Will Kimball. There's definitely a flag on the play right there. I don't know if I can consider that an open field tackle or not, but he was definitely going to get credited for that one. He was squared up and ready to make the tackle, but the Bronx just two-hand shoved him in the back, so blocking the back on that play, it's going to back them up to the 20-yard line to start this possession. It was a great tackle there by Will. He was in a great position and got the Bronx just on his backside, and the Bronx reacted and just shoved him and helped Will make the tackle. So the 22-yard line is where the Bronx will take over. Got to make sure I got my roster here on hand. The Wildcats all jumped on the defensive side. Well, 3 of the 4 jumped. So, 5 yards. So the Bronx will have first down and only 5 to go to start off this possession. 3 wide right for the Bronx, 1 left. On the left side here is Howard. On the far right side, we have Parmeter, we have Mank and Pearson. A handoff goes to number 22. We have Trout met him there, along with Golder and Lewis. So Dighton will pick up enough for the first down. So the first play there will go for a first down for Bell, only needing to pick up 5. All right, here we are starting our third quarter action. Another touch for Dighton. Ball was down, but it looks like the official signaled that it was down. Dighton also still had the ball, so second down and 2 after the gain of 8 from Dighton. Glad to see Dighton back out there. He went down a little bit. Late there in the second, he went down. So good to see he's back out there. Audis looking right. Short pass to number 10. Mank will have enough for the first down. So the Bronx get a little bit of momentum going with their run game and then head right back to the air. So the Bronx will be across the 50-yard line over to the 48-yard line with a new set of downs after their third play of the drive. Man in motion. Coming this way is Mank. Pearson as well. Wildcats jumped again.
Offsides on the Cats. That'll be.
So a couple of hard counts coming from the Bronx. So first down and 5 for the Bronx. Maybe I'll keep track of penalties this half. I'll probably forget, though. 2 already. Handoff coming up the middle. Warnke and Golder in on the tackle. Enough for a first down. So Dighton again, of course, when it's just first and 5. Logan Olson was the other one in on that tackle. Excuse me, not Golder. Hard count. They'll choose to look to the coach at this sideline. So the Bronx unable to get the Wildcats to jump. Snap here, roll out, option, pitch to the right side, a stiff arm, and he'll step out of bounds. Dighton after a gain of about 7, so 2nd down and 3 for the Bronx. LaPlaca, Olson, Warnke, and Golder, the front 4 for the Wildcats. Another handoff to Dighton. He finds a little bit of a hole. He'll get enough for a first down, so a pickup of about 5 on the play. Enough for a first down for Belfouche. That'll be their 5th play of the possession, heading on number 6. They've gone to the air once. They are just inside the 25-yard line. So they're into Wildcat territory. Another handoff to Dighton. Another gain of about 5. Running hard there for the Bronx. You like to see that if you're a Bronx fan with how hard he's running. After contact, he's pushing the Wildcats back another yard or 2. So 2nd down. Looks like he's just over halfway, so we'll call it about 2nd down and 4 from up here. Kind of hard to tell, and they are into the red zone now. Inside the 20, 2nd down and 4. 2 wide right, 2 wide left. They've been pounding it on the ground so far. Launching it up with Dighton. Another one up the middle. Dighton still on his feet. And Virtue meets him at the 5. There's a penalty flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play.
Looked like LaPlaca was in on the play for the Wildcats. Everyone's kind of headed like it's a penalty on the Bronx. We'll wait for the call here. Personal foul on the Bronx, so it's going to back them up. So instead of the first down, they're going to be backed up. Instead, we're going to have 2nd down. And we'll get 17 on the play. Excuse me. So, 2nd down and long for the Bronx. They haven't had to go to the air much here as Riley Dighton, the 5'10 senior running back for the Bronx, has been able to get about 5 or 6 yards on most of his touches. So 2nd down here, man in motion, coming to the close side. Snaps down. They are going to the air. Short route, so Dighton gets another touch. Imramino just misses. Golder is going to save the touchdown. So Golder with the tackle at the 11, but it'll be a Belfouche first down from the 11. Lincoln Golder saved that touchdown there, coming off the end and chasing him down. He covered a lot of ground as Imramino was unable to make the tackle on the play. Will they stick with Dighton? They do, right up the middle. Man misses. Virtue brings him down at the 7. So Virtue from the safety position wraps him up and swings him down. Virtue leads the Wildcats in tackles on the season. Coming into this game, I do not have exactly how many he had, but he did their lead last game with 8 tackles. But I know he leads the team as I saw that earlier today. Just not sure exactly where he's at and how many he has tonight. But he's been all over the field again. Another handoff to Dighton up the middle. Virtue stands him up right at the goal line. Oh, push from a teammate, and Dighton is into the end zone from the 7-yard line. So this will bring up a 2-point conversion, I would assume, for the Bronx. The score is 12-7 currently. Waiting on the 2-point conversion from the Bronx here. I believe every play except for one went Dighton's way for the Bronx on that possession, but when it's working, why change? Why vary from that much? They did go with the short little dump. Dighton gets another touch. He's met, and he is not going to get into the end zone, so we're going to have a stop on the 2-point conversion again by the Wildcats, but the Bronx will take the lead 12-7. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kaya Ellerton, libero. Thanks for watching Wildcat TV.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Carson Drug in Custer is an independent.
Wildcat versus Bronx football game. The Bronx just went down and scored a touchdown to to take the lead, their first lead of the game at 12-7. The squib kick up the middle. This one's taken by Trout. Nice tackle.
Riley Trout with the return.
On the far side, I did not pick up a number, maybe number 5, Tegan Fredrickson, I believe, for the Bronx. So the Wildcats are going to take over possession. First and 10 from their own 28. So the Wildcats ended the first half. It did end up being a turnover on downs after their 4th down conversion attempt fell just short, but they were moving the ball. So let's see if the Wildcats can continue. This time the Wildcats return the hard count favor, and we'll get another penalty on this one. So, first down and 5 for the Wildcats. So Wildcats get a little help to start this possession off. Let's see if they can capitalize on it and get a first down, maybe a little bit of momentum. The far side, the Bronx brings some pressure. John Core jumps over, still throws the pass. He was out of the pocket there, so incomplete pass. It was thrown in Immermino's direction. Just surprised that John Core was able to get out of that one and avoid the sack. So it'll bring up second down and 5 for the Wildcats. Good pressure there from the Bronx on the blitz. Coming up the middle, it was picked up, but it did force John Core out of the pocket and to step up. And when he stepped up, he hurdled one guy and then was able to avoid going down and got the pass out. So no loss on the play, just clock stopped since it was an incomplete pass. So here we are, 2 wide left, another pass coming. John Core is scrambling. He looks Kimball's direction, just off the fingertips of Wimble. John Core talking to Arp in the backfield there, trying to tell him that he should have been rolling a little bit there with him. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Wildcats have gone looking to the air on 2 straight plays. We'll see where they go on 3rd down and 5. Another pass. This pass is caught by Imermino. Imermino cuts back a little bit. He's going to be tackled by number 30, Tegan Carbajal. So that'll be enough for a 1st down for the Wildcats. So the Wildcats do convert on 3rd down. So they'll get a 1st down. Fresh set of downs just short of the 50 there at the 47-yard line with 1st down and 10. Virtue and Lewis wide right. 2 backs in the backfield. Man in motion, Imermino in motion. Another pass coming. Quick one to Imermino, getting Imermino moving. And he's going to be tackled. Nope, continues to fight forward. He was wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. That was Tegan Carbajal again in on that tackle along with Gavin Pearson. So the Wildcats gained 3 on the play with that pass complete to Imermino. So we've got 2nd down and 7 to go. Ball right at midfield. Wildcats pitch to Imermino. Imermino running to the outside. He cuts it back, but he's just going to get to the line of scrimmage.
Imermino gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And just never had a hole that quite opened up for him on the far side of the field. So 3rd down and 7 coming for the Wildcats. Been a lot of running from both teams. Well, the running typically has been from the Wildcats in the first half. The Broncs were taken to the air, but then the Broncs to start this half went to the ground and just stayed on the ground. Now the Wildcats have taken to the air a couple times. John Core chooses to scramble, and he's about 1.5 yards shy of the 1st down marker. So it's going to bring up 4th down for the Wildcats. 4th down and 1. 1.5. Looks like ball's right on the 49. They have to get to about the 47.5 here for the Wildcats. John Core sneak right up the middle. Looks like he's got more than enough, judging just on the far side official. So that'll be enough for a Wildcat 1st down and continuing to keep the drive alive. They've gotten 2 1st downs on this possession. Both of them have come on either 3rd or 4th down. That was the Wildcats' 7th play of the possession.
They're going to measure.
More than enough. The officials did measure by almost 1 yard. You know, the officials just practicing out there maybe a little bit for the postseason, trying to make sure they get those calls, and they've got practice at least bringing the chains out once. You know, we can't just go to the review booth like they can for some virtual measurements in the NFL now, so just to be sure Wildcats with a quick handoff up the middle. I believe it was Arp on the touch there. Gain of about 4 on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats. So Arp running right behind Golder and LaPlaca on that play. Nice gap there created by those two blocking up front. Nice to see. So can the Wildcats continue to move this football? There's only been one possession for the Bronx to start this quarter. They finished it off with a touchdown and a failed 2-point conversion attempt to take them to 12 and take the lead 12-7. And now the Wildcats have had it the rest of this quarter. Wildcats, Imermino in motion. Imermino gets it. He goes outside. Can he pick up a little bit of a block? He gains, it looks like maybe just 1 or 2 on the play. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4 for the Cats.
So 3rd down and 4 for the Wildcats. Can they keep the drive alive? The last 2 first downs, one coming on 4th and one coming on 3rd and 5. So another 3rd down and short to go for the Wildcats. Going to the air. John Core looks to Imermino, and Imermino drops it. The break up a little bit there by number 22, Riley Dighton. So it'll bring up 4th down for the Wildcats with 1:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats offense staying out there. I believe they're out of field goal range for Pasica. I don't know exactly where field goal range is for her. I think she's kicked 1 at 30. So there's a fake handoff. This one goes to David Lewis.
David Lewis on the carry.
Lewis is stopped.
It's going to be 1st down, Belfouche.
So the Bronx will take over on their own 34. So turnover on down for the Wildcats, and the Bronx will take over. On their own 34. First one's a handoff again to Dighton. Dighton to the outside. Couple of penalty flags go down. Ball's on the field. Virtue jumps on it. We'll see what the call is. I wonder if it's a block in the back or anything, or a holding on the Bronx. There's 2 flags that went down from the 2 officials out in the middle. There was a fumble on the play that Virtue jumped on. This holding. So a penalty will be declined. So we'll have a fumble and recovered by Virtue. So the Wildcats are going to regain possession here. So right after the turnover on downs, the offense will find themselves starting right at the 50-yard line. Going to the air. John Core scrambling. Throws a quick one just out of Kern's reach.
Passing complete. Intended for Carter Kern.
Vic just not quite getting enough time in the pocket right now, getting forced outside. Great pressure up front from the Bronx to be forcing him into some scramble situations. And the Bronx defensive backs are able to stay with the Wildcats pretty well so far in this second half. With the amount of times that they threw in the first half, I would assume their practices have quite a bit of touches there. Blaze Arp up the middle. He's going to have enough, it looks like, for the first down. So Blaze Arp right up the middle for the Wildcats.
And that'll be a 1st down.
So a 1st down for the Wildcats. Ball just across the 40-yard line. So the Wildcats now into Bronx territory. here with the clock winding down below a minute in the third. Handoff to Immermino. Immermino going right up the middle. Looks like he gains about 3. Good job there of running hard.
Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7 Wildcats.
There's an injured player on the field.
We have an injury on the field.
It's going to be number 30 down for the Bronx. That's Tegan Carbajal. So there's a couple of trainers racing out there, and I'm going to step aside here as we're going to give our thoughts and prayers and just hoping that he's going to be okay down there on the field. A couple of teammates were trying to hold him up before he sat down, so we're just going to step aside for an injury timeout here.
Hi, I'm Danny Romino. Thank you for watching Wildcat Football. Hi, I'm Brady Virtue. Thanks for watching Wildcat Football.
Fourth down for the Wildcats. You want me to just broadcast to you? Is it live? Perfect. Had a couple difficulties there, so thanks to Alexa Winkler on getting that ready. So we've got a jump coming here on fourth down for the Wildcats. Glad we were able to get that resolved quickly and get the broadcast back here. So that'll be a penalty on the Bronx. The 5th penalty overall of the half that I have marked down, potentially a couple more, but it'll be a first down for the Wildcats. So this will be their second first down of the drive and their 6th play. Wildcats lined up with 3 in the backfield for John Core. Handoff goes to Lewis. Lewis is still on his feet. He spun around, and there's about 4 guys went down to the turf for the Bronx, but not until after Lewis got inside the 20 all the way down to the 15. So that'll be first down and 10 for the Wildcats. Great carry there by David Lewis. So the Wildcats continuing to move the ball in this possession. They did turn it over, but then the Bronx fumbled it, and it was recovered by Virtue. And now the Wildcats are into the red zone. A handoff to Arp. He was tripped up right at the line. It looked like by number 71, Emmett Lip. Tegan Carbajal over there was helped off the field, and he's being worked on by the trainers. It looks like they're looking at one of the ankles over there, the foot area, so we hope we'll be able to see him back yet tonight. Here in the fourth quarter with under 9 minutes remaining. So Wildcats have second down and 9 to go after the short gain. Ball on the turf. Johncore picks it up, scrambles, and throws it away. Looks like he was outside the box, so it'll bring up third down and 9 for the Wildcats. So the Wildcats with 3rd and 9. Need something here. Touch to Immermino. Immermino still on his feet, cuts back, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Enough for a first down. Immermino is stopped at the 3-yard line. So enough for the Wildcats now to have first down and goal.
First and goal.
So Wildcats knocking on the door here. Can the Wildcats punch this one in? Wildcats scored on their first possession of the game, and now are as close as they've been on the night. A QB sneak from Johncore, and he has enough to get in for a touchdown, so the Wildcats will regain the lead. They'll take the lead 13-12. The Wildcats do look like they have Pasica going on. So Pasica's on. That was a 3-yard rush by Veek. Great play there by the Wildcats to just cap off that drive with the touchdown. A jump. So now that'll move half the distance to the goal for the Wildcats. Will the Wildcats elect to go for 2? And if the Wildcats elect to go for 2 and get it, it forces the Bronx to need at least a field goal to tie the game. If the Wildcats choose here to kick the field goal, the Bronx could only need a field goal to take the lead. If the Wildcats miss this or fail a 2-point conversion, they'll be up 1. If the Bronx come down and score a touchdown, they could go up 7 if they complete the 2-point conversion. So I think kicking the field goal here is what the Wildcats are looking like they're going to stick with. So, Pasica on. Snap, hold, kicks up. Kicks good from Pasica. So the Wildcats are going to go up 14-12 with 8 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this ball game. So the Wildcats finished that 50-yard drive. It was 11 plays that I have down, 4 first downs and 50 yards, finished off by a 3-yard run by Veek Johncore. So great possession by the Wildcats. Now it's up to the defense. The defense does have 2 fumble recoveries on the night and 2 interceptions. So let's see if the defense for the Wildcats can come up with one more defensive stop. Looks like Pasica is going to be on for our kickoff as well. Back deep is Gavin Pearson and Rafe Parmenter. The Kickoff coming from Pasica here. So the Wildcats up by 2 with 8:14 remaining in the game. The last time around for the Bronx kept it on the ground with Dighton getting most of the touches, a couple of short passes as well, but for the most part all on the ground. This kick for Pasica is going to be taken by Parmenter. Parmenter still on his feet. There's a flag down on the close side here. So he was brought down or pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Parmenter there on the return. Return of about 25. We'll see what holding on the return team. So that's going to back up the Bronx. So the Bronx are going to take over at the 31, at their own 31. Bronx going with the hard count. Looking to the sideline. They're just trying to get the Wildcats to jump, it looked like. So they stand up, they reset. Count about to come from the back judge. Here comes the count. Handoff up the middle. Virtue and La Placa there for the tackle for the Wildcats.
The play by La Placa and Brady Virtue.
So a gain of 4. That'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
2nd and 7
for Belfouche. At the conclusion of the game, we are going to have one of our seniors of the Wildcats, Danny Imermino, come up to talk with us. So we hope you stick around for that interview after the game. A pass coming to the close side right in front of the Custer bench. Pearson is there on the reception. So we hope that you'll stick around at the conclusion of this game while we take a moment to get Imermino up here so we can hear a couple words from him. So 3rd down and 1 to go for the Bronx. With the clock stopped as Pearson stepped out of bounds. Here we are lined up. That front line of the Bronx has been given plenty of time on some of these passing plays, some quick short routes. Stop by Virtue. Virtue met him. Dighton was on the carry. Brady Virtue, enough to stop him for no gain, so it'll be 4th down and 1 for the Bronx. Big possession, big play here for the defense of the Wildcats. If the Wildcats can come up with the stop on this and regain possession, it would be huge. Let's see what the Bronx go to here. Snap, they drop back to pass. They're looking long. They have Pearson over the top. Pearson is going to go untouched into the end zone. So that is a 61-yard reception. So 4-play possession for the Bronx ends on a 61-yard touchdown reception for Pearson. Pearson also had the first touchdown reception of the game for the Bronx. So the Bronx regained the lead quickly here on that play. They're up 18-14. So they will need this 2-point conversion to be able to go up 1 touchdown. The Wildcats will need a touchdown regardless. We'll see. The Wildcats so far have stopped the Bronx on 2 of the 2-point conversions. Snap, no handoff. They go to the air on an out route. And that pass is broken up, intended for Parmenter. Imermino was there to help on the stoppage there. So it'll be Belle-Fourche up 18-14 as the Wildcats will get the ball back with 6 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. I'm going to step aside for a quick break as we're winding down here in the fourth quarter.
Carson Drug in Custer is an independent, family-owned business that exists to improve the quality of life for their customers and to make their community great. At Carson Drug, they work hard to ensure their pharmacists and staff not only assist customers with their needs, but build good relationships that will last for the long haul. If you want a first-class pharmacy experience from a South Dakota independent pharmacy, you've come to the right place. Carson Drug, a community pharmacy designed for you.
Hi, my name is Ava Jari, and thank you for watching Wildcat TV. Hi, I'm Ava Ho.
All right, welcome back. We are here with 6 minutes and 39 seconds remaining as the Wildcats are back to receive the kickoff. This is Trout on the return. Trout gets to the outside. There's a penalty flag on the play. Trout still on his feet. He gets up to the 35, but a flag on the play. I'm feeling like there's going to be some sort of penalty on the Wildcats, but nonetheless, the Wildcats will be starting with a possession and a chance to regain the lead. Wildcats' last possession was 11 plays and went for 50 yards. So they're going to be backed up on this play, a holding called. So they'll take 10 yards off that, and the Wildcats will be starting at their own, I believe, 23.
First and 10, Custer.
So first down and 10 for the Wildcats. So Wildcats here with 6.5 minutes remaining, starting their drive. They'll start with the pass from John Core. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to tuck it. And a ball is fumbled, punched out from behind, and jumped on by the Bronx. That was number 2, Garrett Houston, that was able to jump on the possession. So Houston recovers that fumble for the Bronx. The Bronx have all the energy here. They've got good field possession, so they take over on the Wildcat 28. So the scramble there did not pay off. The Wildcats fumble, unfortunately. So now the defense is going to be called upon. An option coming. Golder almost got there in the backfield. Trout is going to get there on the pitch there. So Riley Trout with a nice tackle right at the, looks like a loss on the play. Loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. 3 on the play. So second down and 13 for the Bronx. So Wildcats here needing a defensive stop as the clock is ticking with that run play. Another handoff up the middle. Dighton, a penalty flag on the play. We'll see what comes up. So the clock's going to stop. There's a gain of about 5 on the play, so it'd bring up 3rd down and 8. We'll see what the flag is as we wait for the officials to meet in the middle and discuss the call. Official at the spot of the foul. We got a holding on the Bronx. So that'll be a 10-yard from the spot of the foul. It looks like it's going to be second down and 20. So we'll replay that down. Second down and 20 for the Bronx. Long way to go. The last time they went with the short, quick dump to Dighton when they were in a similar position. Bronx stand up, look to the coaches. Coaches are giving the signal. Bronx adjust, 3 wide right, 1 man in the backfield, 1 out wide to the left, and going to the air. They're taking a shot towards Virtue. Virtue knocks it down. Pass intended for Pearson, so Virtue knocks that one down. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long with the clock stop. So 3rd down and 20 to go. The Bronx need to get all the way to the 18-yard line, it looks like, from my point of view. To be able to get the first down, they took the air there. It stops the clock. Good for the Wildcats. So now it's all on the defense of the Wildcats. Can they come up with a stop? They've had plenty in this game. Already, just a couple of big plays have been broken loose for the Bronx. Snap. QB sneak up the middle. Virtue there on the tackle and Trout. So a gain of, it looks like 8 on the play. So it'll be 4th down and 12 for the Bronx. Bronx offense still out there. Ball is right at the 30-yard line. See what the Bronx drum up here as the clock ticks away on that play. Big play for the Wildcat defense. Snap. QB drops back, rolls to the left. Pressure coming. And the Wildcats are going to sack him in the backfield. So the Wildcats are going to take over, turnover on downs. A couple of Wildcats, LaPlaca and Olsen, the last 2 guys to get up off the field there for the Wildcats that were in on that sack. So the Wildcats are going to take over at their own 37. So 1 possession here for the Cats with a chance to regain the lead. They need a touchdown on this possession. Handoff comes to Imermino. Imermino bounces to the outside. Penalty flag on the play. Imermino still on his feet, spins, still on his feet, across midfield and down just shy of the 40-yard line. There is a flag all the way back in the backfield. Waiting for a call, holding on the Wildcats. So that's going to back the Wildcats up. So it'll be 1st down and 20 for the Wildcats. So 1st and long for the Wildcats. That one backs them up after a big play from Imermino. Gets called back, but just got to put another one together. Imermino in motion, going out to the outside. They'll take to the air. They've got a man open over the middle, but pass was a little low, intended for Lewis. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 20 for the Wildcats.
Intended for David Lewis. 2nd and long, Wildcats.
So 2nd down and long for the Wildcats. Wildcats need to get a little something going here. It's the Bronx defense looking to get a stop to try and get their 2nd win on the season. Cats have Virtue on the far side out wide for John Core. Man in motion. Handoff to Immermino. Immermino is tackled after a gain of just 3, so it'll bring down 3rd down and long for the Wildcats. As Immermino's carry, there was a little bit of a hole, but that was number 33, Spencer Bush, that was in on that tackle. So 3rd and long for the Wildcats. Need something here where it'll bring up 4th down. Man in motion is Immermino. Rush only 3. David Lewis has the ball go through his hands. Good ball from John Core. The Bronx getting fired up over there, sensing a little bit. The Wildcats are going to have 4th down. There's just under 3 minutes remaining. We'll see what the Wildcats choose to do here. Looks like they're going to leave the offense on and go for it on 4th down and 18. We'll see. The Wildcats the other night, last week, used Virtue to throw a pass long, and it had gone over just over John Core's head. John Core takes a shot in Virtue's direction. Virtue catches it and steps out of bounds, so pass is complete. The Wildcats will have a big gain on the play. So Brady Virtue on the reception there. The Wildcats are going to move into Bronx territory. They're going to be all the way down to the 33-yard line. A great pass on that 4th down conversion for the Wildcats. So big play made there by Virtue, a big catch, great placed ball for by John Core. Great to see, and the Wildcats' hopes are still alive. David up the middle. He'll gain 3 on the play, so 2nd down and 7. Clock below 2:40, approaching the 2.5-minute mark of the 4th quarter. So Wildcats' hopes are still alive here. Great conversion on that 4th down play. Great play call from the coaching staff of the Wildcats. Now can the Wildcats continue to keep the pressure on? Immermino in motion. John Core drops back. Pressure coming. He throws it out of bounds. Pass was intended for Lewis. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 with the clock stopped. Just over 2 minutes remaining here. A wonderful game up to this point. Been quite a few turnovers in it both ways, so the defenses have really been coming through. If you're a Bronx fan listening at home, of course you're definitely hoping for one more defensive stop. As for the Wildcats, fans of the Wildcats, we're hoping to get enough for another 1st down to keep the hopes alive. A touch to Arp. Arp gains 1, so it'll be 4th down and 6 for the Wildcats. So they've already converted on 1 4th down. Can they convert on another one? Wildcats went to the air on the last 4th down and long. It was 4th down and 18 on the last one. They picked up about 40. Brady Virtue was the receiver on that. He's out far in front of the Belfouche bench, as far as you can get on the screens at home. Another pass, look in that direction. Tons of pressure. John Core, a flag down. John Core decides to run. He's still on his feet, and he gets inside the 20. The Bronx are saying that it's going to go back. So 2 big plays this possession for the Wildcats have been backed up by holding penalties. I believe that's what this one's going to be as well. So Wildcats got to get one more long 4th down conversion. So a holding. So it'll bring up 4th down instead of 4th and 6. It'll be 4th and 16. Ball just inside the 40-yard line in Bronc territory. So 4th down. The Wildcats fans there thought that they'd had enough for the first down to keep the hopes alive, but now the Wildcats are just going to have to do it again, but this time around from even further. There's a lot of pressure brought by the Broncs. They rush 4 on this. Joncourt steps up. He scrambles, and he is brought down on the play with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. So a turnover on downs for the Wildcats with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. Tough play for a Wildcat fan. So the Broncs will be out here taking over possession on their own 35. A touch to Dighton. Dighton still on his feet. He's got enough for a first down. There is a flag on the play.
Second and short. Flag on the play.
I stopped counting penalties on the second half here a while ago. I tried to keep up, but there's just been so much action happening here in the second half that I was unable to get it. Helping the runner is what was called, so it's a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to bring up first down and 5, but the clock, I believe, is stopped. So hand off to Dighton. He'll gain 2, so looks like second down and 3 coming this way for the Broncs. Timeout by the Wildcats. I'm going to step aside for a quick break.
Right side hitter, thank you for watching Wildcat TV.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
All right, welcome back. We got 41 seconds remaining. Second down and 3 to go for the Broncs. The Broncs are leading this one, so first down will end it. Wildcats need a couple stops here. Man in motion. Snap, handoff to Dighton. Dighton up the middle. He's stopped by Virtue. He does gain 1 on the play. Another timeout for the Wildcats. So third down and 1. So Coach Evans will talk to the Wildcats here. He's rounding it out. Fans are starting to leave. Those of you at home, we're still going to try and catch Danny Imermino here for an interview after. And hear from the senior. We'll see if we can get him up here or not. So both teams are back out here with 36 seconds remaining. Third down and 1 to go. The Wildcats looking like they're going to bring some pressure. Handoff, enough for a first down, and that will do it for
First down, Belfouche.
the Bronx. So the clock will run. And that'll be the final. The final score will be 14-18. Belfouche will get their second win of the season. So as the teams shake hands and the clock winds down here on the night, we'll just kind of go to our mythical player of the games maybe a little bit, or just the player of the game that I so choose on both sides. One for the Bronx, one for the Wildcats, just something that I like to do. There's really nothing given out, but just a player of the game. As for the Bronx, I probably have to go with Gavin Pearson. He had that 22-yard touchdown reception in the first quarter for the Bronx, and then he had the big 61-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter to regain the lead. So I'd probably have to go with Pearson. He made a couple big tackles on the play, and he was just kind of all over in the right spots. Dighton played well too for the Bronx. On the ground, gaining a lot of yards there on the ground. So for the Bronx, I'll go with Gavin Pearson. And as for the Wildcats, defensively, Brady Virtue had a fumble recovery. Logan Olson had a fumble recovery. Riley Trout had an interception, and David Lewis had an interception. Had the Wildcats pulled this one out, I might have just had to go with the whole defensive squad of the Wildcats. But in this one, I'm probably going to have to go with Danny Imermino as my player of the game. He had that big touchdown run on the first possession of the game for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats had their second touchdown by John Core, but it was set up by Imermino. Imermino made a couple of nice open field tackles and broke up a couple of passes on the defensive side. So this one's going to go to Danny Imermino, and hopefully we can get Danny up here for a post-game interview and hear a couple words from him. I know it's always tough after a loss, as it should be. You want those things to go your way, but hopefully we can hear from our senior, Danny. I'm not sure who Bell has next, but the Wildcats are going to host the Rapid City Christian Comets. Rapid City Christian is 2-4 on the year. I'm not sure how their game ended up tonight, but Wildcats are going to look to get their first win of the season at home. So one more chance to go before then they head to Lakota Tech for the last game of the regular season and then on to the postseason for teams. So I'm going to step aside for I'll go back and we'll just review this game a little bit while we wait for the Wildcats to break a huddle and hopefully Danny Imermino to come up.
Oh, shoot.
All right. We're joined here. We did not get Danny, or Danny is also on his way up here, so we grabbed Blaze Arp as well to get a quick interview after this game. You know, a tough one out there. Lots of emotions that are going on in a game like that, of course. We want that last possession back, or maybe a penalty or things like that that went against us back. But just hit on what it means to be a part of this group and to be fighting to the end with those guys out there on the field.
Oh, to be a part of this group, it's amazing. I love every single one of those guys down there. It's unfortunate we had a couple of penalties that kind of kicked our ass tonight, but we tried to come back, and dice didn't end up rolling the way they wanted to. But I love every single one of them, and I would die with all of them. They're amazing, and couldn't ask for a better group of guys. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I really love hearing the words that are coming out of your mouth about your teammates and the things like that. I know you're one of those guys that's in the backfield and the lead blocker a lot of the times, and you're opening up those gaps and the holes for some of your other running backs, and you're just out there and you play as hard as you can on every single possession, and I greatly appreciate watching that from up here, and the fans do at home as well, and all of those things. So to know that you have all their backs is absolutely awesome. Moving forward and coming off of a game like this, we have another home game for you. You know, the last one as a senior. What's it going to mean in that next home game, that last one? We've got 2 games on the year remaining. Just what's it mean to put on that Wildcat uniform a couple more times?
Oh, to put this uniform on, it's just knowing that I'm never going to get to do it again here in a couple days or weeks, I suppose. But I love it. And every single second I can get in it, I really enjoy it. And then again, every single one of those guys down there, I love being in this uniform with them and standing beside them and being with all of them. So yeah.
Yeah. So what's the focus going to have to be to pick up? You know, we got 2 more games, so we can pick up 2 more wins on that. What's the focus going to have to be to get this next one?
So the focus is probably this coming week is going to be basically just not shooting ourselves in the foot like we did with all the penalties and stuff. That's definitely going to be a major focus, and then basically just sticking together and not falling apart within these last couple games. And it's going to be a rough ride, but we should be able to do it, and I think we can pull out 2 more wins.
Yes, I love to hear that. So thank you, Blaze, for stepping up here and joining us on the feed.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes. We'll have Danny Imermino slide over here next in just a moment. Danny, want to hop right down here? Thanks for hopping back out here. Thank you, Blaze. Again, one of our senior running backs there, Blaze Arp, and we're going to talk to our other senior running back, Danny Imermino here. So, Danny, I did give you the player of the game there. One of the big plays of the game was that opening touchdown run. You know, take me through a little bit of what it feels like out there. You've had a couple of big runs in the last couple of games on this football field. Just what's it like being out there, hearing the crowd when you're making a big play like that on the offensive side?
I don't really even hear the crowd, to be honest. It's completely shut out.
No,
yeah.
I get that. I understand, you know, when you're out there and you get totally locked in on those sorts of things. But just when you bust loose and you get through that line, you see open field, just tell us a little bit about what it feels like for you out there.
Well, I'm just looking for any gap I can get to go break loose. And once I do break loose, I'm just running for my life, hoping I don't get caught. Usually I don't, but every once in a while I'll get caught.
No, we appreciate that. And a couple of big plays that you made on the defensive side tonight. We like to see that, knowing that you have to play both ways as well. Unfortunately, I know tough to come up here, and we appreciate you joining us even after the loss. It's tough to talk about some of those things, but, you know, you guys gave yourselves chance after chance on the defensive side of things with some of your teammates stepping up and coming up with a couple interceptions, a couple fumble recoveries. You know, what do you think moving forward that we've got to do as a squad to bounce back and get 2 more wins on this season? We've still got 2 more games. You get to suit up 2 more times for sure in the regular season here as a Wildcat. So what do we got to work on this week as a squad maybe to go find 2 wins?
We need to focus on capitalizing on their mistakes and the fumble recoveries and the interceptions, the turnovers. we got to capitalize that on offense. The defense, they're a great squad, doing a great job, creating opportunities for the offense, and the offense just needs to quit shooting themselves in the foot with plenty of penalties. And if we didn't have that many penalties, I'm sure we probably would have beat these guys by 40 points. So it's just a shame that a lot of our biggest plays were just brought back, especially in the fourth quarter. Super clutch.
Yep.
Super clutch catch by Brady. Good run by Veek. Both fourth down plays. And they just get brought back due to penalties. So
some unfortunate mistakes that, unfortunately didn't go our way. But if a couple plays go our way, we're sitting up here and we're celebrating and talking about a win. So I'd really appreciate you stepping up here after a loss like that and having the courage to get on the mic and get behind it. So I look forward to following the next 2 games. Can't wait to be back next week. Let's get ourselves into the win column. All right?
Yes, sir.
And you get out there and you lead that squad and keep running hard, man.
Yep.
Thank you. That's Danny Imermino for us, folks. And we hope to see you all next week here again in Custer as the Wildcats will be taking on the Rapid City Christian Comets. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful night.